Guys, I feel like we are having a funeral now for the Braxtons because this show is just not giving what us viewers anticipated or expected to receive, from watching this show. Now they are filming separately, and Tamar is pretty much giving us some insight as to why she feel like they just simply hate her, which is sad that she really feels like they just don't like her, y'all. Let's get into it.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Hey, the breakout star of the Braxtons, did that have an effect on your relationship with your family?
Definitely started a lot of tension, if I'm honest, out of nowhere. And it was out of nowhere for me because this is who we all were without the cameras, and it's not like I was putting on or, acting or trying to become something. It just happened that way. And, my life was exactly the way that, it was portrayed during the first and second season. Yeah, it did start a lot of tension. And I think because, it was only one super famous person in my family. And I just thought that maybe for my family, it was weird for them. Yeah.
Do you regret doing the show? Do you feel like if the show never happened, the relationship would be different or back to being what it used to be before the show?
Relationship wise, yes. But for the culture, no.
Now, that interview obviously is an interview that Tamar Braxton did with Carlos King. Shout out to him. Now, if you guys recall, prior to the Braxton show, we really didn't. Well, I know I really didn't know who Tamar was. I'm sure I would have saw her, on a picture or performing with Tony, but really didn't know who she was other than, Tony's sister. But we all know that she wasn't really famous for anything at that time other than being Tony's sister. Now, Tamar, once this show, their family show came out, Tamar was in fact the breakout star, and people just fell head over heels in love with her personality. But what Tamar said in her interview is that caused family tension. And the interesting part about that is what a lot of people have been saying in the comments because Towanda has done interviews basically saying, why would she be jealous of Tamar? Because if she was jealous of Tamar, she would be jealous of Tony. The difference between the two is Toni Braxton has been a star for decades. So if you had a problem with Toni being who she is, at this point you would have gotten used to it because Toni was the one that shaped a lot of whatever they had going on. Okay, we know about Tamar through Toni. Not saying that Tamar now can't stand on her own 2 feet, but what Tamar basically stated is her success, which was instant success, created tension within her family. She stated that Toni Braxton at that time was pretty much the only famous person in her family. And I certainly can understand where she's coming from because keep in mind, they started this show. Tamar was the one that they pretty much told us was the Hellraiser. But it seems like she was the one that was picked over them. She said that this caused tension in their relationship. And I can kind of understand that because we see that. Now, in this scene right here, we actually get to see Tamar breaking down. And what she reveals is pretty much that her sisters pretty much hate her, don't like her. Okay. As we know, she was disinvited to Towanda's wedding, everything surrounding Towanda's wedding. In fact, Towanda lied and made it seem like Tamar just didn't show up when all along we have now been able to confirm, even in this episode, that Towanda said she did not want Tamar attending her wedding. And they are pretty much saying that Tamar's behavior is unacceptable. Now, this is per the sisters. And Towanda is basically like, I'm sick of her, and she pretty much can't stand her. Tamar also feels that she is drinking, and also feels that her drinking is a little bit out of whack, considering that she doesn't like to drink, weeks before she is going to sing. She feels like that she's been in this particular situation before. As you guys know, she left the show before, and she was pressured by family members to return to the show, and y'all already know what that was for, because they need the check, they need the money. Obviously, Tamar has a lot of other things going on with regards to her with her career. Now, she does get into talking about what happened in, the restaurant when they were sitting at the table, and she talked about really blacking out, which she didn't remember a lot of it, but she did recall what happened between her and Trina. And she did, feel like Trina had pushed her or grabbed her. And I had to go back and rewatch it. And rewatching it, I can kind of see where she would have thought that. But when you're emotional and somebody is, trying to intervene, it could have looked like that to her. The most interesting part about this, is Towanda is strongly in her desires to not mess with Tamar, but I can never understand how you don't want to mess with somebody, yet they gave you $50,000 down on a house that you didn't have the money for, okay? And yet you're still using their credit card to pay your cell phone bill. So I kind of get a little bit confused when Towanda saying that she doesn't want to deal with Tamar, but yet you were stealing and getting her money while not having any intentions on paying her back.
Is Tamar coming?
No, she's not coming to my wedding.
She's not coming to the wedding?
No, she's not.
Are you sure?
I'm so positive.
What do we think about her behavior? The other day.
I think it was unacceptable. Entirely unacceptable.
I was pretty upset at myself for allowing a situation to affect me that way.
I get it. Certain things, even as sisters, I wouldn't necessarily spew out.
Now, I don't know if Trina ass is drunk or what, because when she says that, she refers to Tamar saying it's certain things Tamar shouldn't spew out. Hell, Towanda was spewing out all sorts of foolery with regards to you stole Tony's man. All Tamar said is you used my credit card and you stole it. And it seems like she had facts. So Towanda's comeback is that you stole Tony's man. It's clear that, Towanda is a thief and that Tamar has the receipts. And instead of Towanda handling the situation, she wanted to make it, well, pretty much she wanted to take the heat off of her and tell us that Tamar had slept with Tony's man, because, of course, people are going to be like, ooh, well, what man did Tamar actually sleep with? But y'all see how Trina deflects and says Tamar shouldn't be just spewing things out, as if Towanda didn't just spew things out.
I'm talking to the third person. You talk crazy to me. And I'm like, at what point do I defend myself? You could just get exhausted with the same behavior over and over and over again. I know I was exhausted. And it wasn't warranted, and I'm not excusing it, and I'm not willing to accept that behavior anymore in my life.